Stories. This week I'll be taking a look at the Japanese from the Dark Age supplement. So this is from the start of the Heian period in 794, when the capital was moved to modern-day Kyoto, through to 1500 AD, which is partway through the Muromachi period. There are 3 variants available: an early, a middle and a late list. The early army allows us to have up to 8 commanders, up to 75% cavalry, up to 50% infantry, and up to 25% allies taken from the Korean list. The middle period army lets us take up to 8 commanders, up to 50% cavalry, up to 75% infantry, and up to 25% allies from the warrior monk selection. And finally, the late variant lets us take up to 6 commanders, up to 25% cavalry, up to 100% infantry, and up to 20% allies, again from the warrior monk section. Lots of manufacturers produce Japanese miniatures, so plenty to choose from. Let's take a look at the list in a bit more detail, starting with commanders. These can be mounted or on foot. Your overall commander may be a general with cohesion 9 and 3 attacks, or a warlord who has a better cohesion of 10 but only 2 attacks and will cost you 50 points. There are 2 options for cavalry. The early list may take imishi, which have light armour and bow. These are skirmishers with a cohesion value of 6. The other option is bushi. They have light armour and bow. They are superior fighters and superior shooters. You may equip them with heavy armour and you may make them veteran. In middle and late armies you can also equip them with a spear. You can field these as skirmishers or as open order cavalry. In the middle and late period you may take bushi infantry. Like their mounted counterparts, they have light armour and bow and a spear. They're superior fighters, superior shooters. You can equip them with heavy armour. You may make them stubborn and veteran. You may also take retainers in the middle and late armies. They can have a spear or a bow or a halberd. They're open order. You can give them light armour. In late armies, you can exchange a spear for a pike to represent troops armed with yari, and these will then count as close order. The final infantry options are available only in the early period. They are archers who have a bow. They may form a combined formation in which the front rank has pavis, or you can take imishi who also have a bow but are inferior fighters. The middle and late lists let you take allied warrior monks. These can be trained, in which case they're armed with a spear and are superior fighters, open order. You can equip them with light armour and they may exchange their spear for a halberd. Or you can have other monks who just have a spear and are open order. In late armies, you can exchange spear for pike, again representing troops armed with yari, in which case these troops would become close order. So I think some of the strengths of the army are its good cohesion. It's got good shooting. You could arm everything with a bow if you wanted to. There's great figure availability from several manufacturers, so they're available in metal and plastic, and a Japanese army looks great on the table. The army does have a number of weaknesses. I think the main one is its vulnerability to shooting. It's got very poor armour throughout the army. You've got no foot skirmishers to shield your expensive infantry, and those bushi are horrendously expensive. A single base is going to cost you somewhere between 28 and 34 points. The game is always evolving, so I would strongly recommend that you check out the Gripping Beast website for the latest errata. I'm not going to list everything here, but a couple of examples are that the Japanese lords no longer get the +1 in combat resolution, and now in the early period you can take a single unit of warrior monks. Whilst you're on the Gripping Beast site, there's also an additional Japanese list free to download. This list takes the army through the Age of War, incorporating the adoption of firearms from the Portuguese, but really ceasing before the rise of Oda Nobunaga. As always, thank you for watching this episode. Tune in next week for some more Swordpoint stories.